Welcome back, guys. I'm back with a video, and today I'll be going through the possession game playstyle. Many of you guys have been asking me to review playstyles, so I think I'll be making this a series, covering everything you need to know about the 4 main playstyles in the game, what you need to pay attention to and do in order to effectively use them. Today is going to be based on possession game playstyle, so if you're thinking of switching playstyles, or you already use possession game, stick around to the end so you could pick up some few tips to use this playstyle effectively. So, let's dive in. First of all, what is possession game playstyle? This playstyle is basically focused on your team holding possession of the ball as much as possible and controlling the game with passing, dribbling, and slow build-ups. Dribbling? Yeah, but don't worry, I'll talk about that later. Now, in a fast-paced game, like efootball mobile, playing with this playstyle can get really frustrating because most players like the counter playstyle where players make forward runs to be able to receive through balls. But this is not the case for possession game, which brings us to the first tip when using possession game, which is patience. Playing possession game takes time. Players make runs when necessary and drop back to create space to receive passes, allowing for slow but tactical build-up plays. This is why, in my opinion, this playstyle is the best when mastered properly. It starves your opponent of the ball and gives you time to tactically break your opponent's team, instead of waiting for counterattacks. Now, how do you make these tactical build-up plays? Well, like I said earlier, the possession game playstyle relies heavily on passing. It's no news that how well you execute your passes throughout a game would determine how well you hold possession. Possession game playstyle allows your players move around to create passing options, which I grouped into 2 types. Meanwhile, I've already made a detailed video on passing and pass types, so I highly recommend you check that out. Regardless, I grouped passing options into 2, the safe option and the risky option. Understanding why, when, and where you take these options would improve your possession game. Let's quickly look at this scenario. Yamal has the ball, and all I can see are safe passing options. None of my players are actually marked. So I chose to pass here. No, I have 3 passing options. If I pass here and here, there is a possibility that the ball might get intercepted by them, making these 2 options risky. So I chose to pass to a more safe option, still keeping possession. Notice how I didn't give a through pass. Rather, I have a normal pass due to lack of space. So take note. Now at this point, my closest was here, but marked. A pass to him would be risky. So I decided to give my other midfielder who was free, drawing the defender while making the initial midfielder free for a pass. I then made the obvious pass to space on the wings. At this point, most people would play a cross, but the probability to score with a cross here is low, so I give a confusing back pass to the same player, then a little bit of individual brilliance from my players led to a goal. So, safe options should always be considered anywhere and anytime in a match. However, you shouldn't always do it. Also make risky passes, as these are the kind that actually breaks defenses. Now, let's talk about formations. This is also very important when selecting a playstyle, and most players struggle with this even without knowing. In fact, this is where most people get it wrong. Not the playstyle itself, but how their formation supports it. Now, since we're using the possession game playstyle, there are things you need to consider. Space and passing, here's why. Like I said earlier, possession game relies heavily on passing, and to pass effectively, you need space. Therefore, when picking a formation, select one that covers a significant amount of pitch space and one that creates triangles around your team. This is very important because the more the area of the pitch your players are able to cover, the more space you have to pass the ball around. Which is why I usually recommend the use of wingers and fullbacks when playing possession game. They help spread the field of play, creating space both at the center and on the wings. You can also use a 3-man defense with LMFs or RMFs stretching the pitch. Also, if you haven't already figured out, making triangles around your team gives every player at least 2 passing options, making it easier to escape pressure with a simple pass. Now listen, the best formations I recommend for possession play style is the modified 4-3-3 and the 3-2-3-2 formations. These 2 formations check all the criteria which I gave earlier perfectly. Now I called the 4-3-3 modified because of my understanding of player roles and movement, especially in the midfield. Take for example a player playing AMF tends to make forward runs whenever your team is in possession of the ball. But if that same player is put in a CMF role, these runs won't be made as often. So understanding this makes you adjust or modify your formation based on your needs. So yeah, once you've set up your formation properly and understood how your players move within that shape, you've already solved half the puzzle. The other half comes down to how you play, your movement, your decision-making, and your composure when under pressure. That's where the real difference is made. Now you can master all these and still find it hard to score in actually games. Possession game might be goated, but most times players struggle to penetrate defenses using this playstyle. So here are 5 tips to help you break into the final third and score more goals using this playstyle. 1. Always watch out for space to exploit in your opponent's defense. You might think there is no way of beating your opponent's defense, but I just think you're looking wrongly. You need to be completely zoned in to know when you make the pass, cross, through ball, or shoot, based on your player's positioning. When you're more focused, your gameplay becomes better. Trust me. 2. Learn to dribble on the wings. Good use of possession gameplay often leaves space at the wings for your wingers to exploit. Knowing how to do skill moves like double touch, Marseille turn, and chop turn with your wingers will make it easier to break into the final third of the pitch and score more goals. Like I said, passing is the basis of possession game, but dribbling is the beauty of it. 3. Learn to make substitutions. When your players are tired. Whenever your players are tired, they tend to be slow, give sloppy passes, and lose balance easily. However, fresh players will give your team still be agile, and your gameplay becomes more responsive, even in the last minutes of the game. 4. Learn to do quick passing, one-touch pass, and go very quickly around your teammates. If mastered properly, your opponent's defense won't be able to keep up. 5. Get a stable internet for online matches. Playing possession game without a good internet is very frustrating, and you end up spamming through balls due to an unresponsive gameplay, which is why I always advise to get a good internet when playing online matches using this playstyle. So yeah, that's it for the possession game playstyle. It's not the easiest playstyle to master, but once you do, it gives you full control over the match. Remember, possession isn't just about holding the ball, it's about controlling the pace of the game and forcing your opponent to play your way. Try out these tips, practice your timing, and soon you'll realize that every pass, every touch, every small movement actually builds up to that one perfect goal. If you learned something new or found this breakdown helpful, drop a like and let me know in the comments which playstyle you want me to cover next. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next episode in this playstyle series. See you in the next one.